Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I'm going to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh. Now, Yu-Gi-Oh is a little completely different topic. I know it doesn't really do well on the channel, but I'm gonna talk about it because I like Yu-Gi-Oh. And I was thinking, like, okay, so if you guys don't know that there's been everybody found out why Elements of Hero Air Neos haven't been able to reprint because some lame ass artist said that it looks too much like his design, and instead of like paying, I guess, the royalties or something like that, Konami was like, fuck it, we're not even going to do Elements of Hero Air Neos, and it's just been scrubbed completely. Everybody's been begging for Air Neos forever and a day, which I think is kind of stupid that the artist sued, because first off, a lot of these designs are created in Japan anyway, and you're English person, you're American. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, most people aren't even aware of your character. So for you to even have some kind of lawsuit against Konami because what is it? Pedal Rafter or something like that. I think that's the superhero guy character name. It's just kind of one of those, really, come on now. Raven Dactyl. Yeah, Raven Dactyl, the artist Craig Weiss announced that it's because his character looks like him, look like his, but your character is a pterodactyl character, while literally Air Neos is the combination of Elements of Hero Neos, who's a buff hero, merged with a hummingbird. So how does a pterodactyl hero look like Air Neo? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's nonsensical. It didn't make the sense God gave. It was just stupid on stupid, right? So anyway, the reason why I want to bring this up is because Spacians. Now, when they did season 2 of Yu-Gi-Oh GX, they decided that Jaden's deck needed to evolve, and we need to do more than just Elements of Heroes. Now, if you guys watch Yu-Gi-Oh GX, if you ask me, Elements of Heroes were pretty cool. We got new fusion combinations with them, and of course, in the manga, they had the elemental heroes. I know that sounds confusing, but anyway, the Spacians are a group of cards that was created by Jaden Yuki when he was a kid, where they got imbued with the power of Space, the gentle darkness, if that makes sense. So their whole gimmick is contact fusion. Contact fusion is Elemental Hero Neos contact fuse with one of the Spacians, and that's really it, right? But the downside to that is that you return them to your deck, right? You shuffle them back into your deck, and then, at the end of the turn, they go back to the fusion deck, right? Now, that's got to be the most dumbest gimmick I've ever seen. Like, I've never seen something where you downgrade the main character's deck with some bullshit. And Yu-Gi-Oh! GX did try to make that damn deck work. Like, for all of its things, it was dumb. But my thing is, why couldn't you just make Elements of Hero Neos and just have him contact fuse with other Elements of Heroes? You already, like, that would have been way better than having Elements of Hero Neos contact fuse with these Spacian characters. Like, I mean, you could have made Elements of Hero Spacian heroes, like, and I'm talking about Elements of Hero wise, you know what I'm saying? Because Spacians, not only are they weak as hell, they're useless. And I'm talking about realistically, a lot of their effects, it's just like, okay, and you couldn't give a regular Elements of Hero that. You get what I'm saying? And I get it. They're trying to make them aliens, and again, that's fine. But they should have had real attack. They should have had real attacks, and they should have looked like heroes. You get what I'm saying? Alien heroes. You know what I mean? Not just like some random goof characters that fuse with Elements of Hero Neos. And then Neos is already a monster that has no effect, right? So you have a monster that has no effect, and you have to sacrifice 2 monsters to summon him. Okay, and now I gotta fuse him with one of these weak-ass Spacians that don't really elevate the deck at all. And don't get me wrong, Elemental Heroes, some of them are useless, some of them aren't, but for the most part, you can come up with pretty good combinations with the Elemental Heroes. Why you just didn't do that with Neos? Neos contact fuse with Elemental Hero Burst Tricks to become Elemental Hero something lady. You know what I mean? Like, do something like that. That would have been way better than this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You mean tell me you couldn't have made Elemental Hero Neos and Elemental Hero Avion become Air Neos instead? Like, did you really need Air Hummingbird for that bullshit? No. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the only good thing that came from the Spacians was Spacian ground mode. That's about it. But again, why is your level up deck have weaker monsters than your old deck? You get what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you stack your deck with weaker monsters that has okay effects, but rely on a beef stick like Elemental Hero Neos to function? But the problem is, still, it don't really do much or nothing because of the fact that, oh, okay, we gotta make these characters work story-wise, but when I'm looking at it story-wise, I'm like, these Spacian motherfuckers suck. You mean tell me you couldn't come up with a group of Elemental Heroes who were in Space? You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, Spacians sound like a okay name, but the concept of contact fusion returning to your deck at the end was completely dumb. You know what I'm saying? What I would have did even if we had to sit with the Spacians and we do the contact fusion, when the Spacian fusion is destroyed, either shuffle it back into the deck and place the 2 monsters that was contact fused back onto the field in defense position. You get what I'm saying? Do something like that. Or when it goes to the graveyard, you can special summon either one Elemental Hero Neos or Spacian. Do something. Do something with that bullshit. That shit was, it's lame. It is a lame technique. It is so lame. And don't get me wrong, you say Fudo has a deck full of weak cards, but those cards are supposed to build on top of each other. Jaden already had decent monsters to begin with, but you build on them with cards that don't even elevate or help the Elemental Heroes. And that's another thing too. Why have Elemental Hero Neos, but then the Spacians don't even help the other Elemental Heroes? You get what I'm saying? Or at least fuse with the other Elemental Heroes. You get what I'm saying? Could you imagine, like, okay, Air Neos, not Air Neos, but Avion, Spacian Air Hummingbird, contact fuse, meet Elemental Hero Air Avion, or Avion Striker. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bam, there you go. At least you got the Spacians. At least you got the Spacians with doing something to elevate. Like, you ain't got no spell cards or nothing that elevates. Like, there was one card called Next, right? So Next is basically, you take an Elemental Hero and you swap it out for a Spacian. Bitch, is you stupid? Is you stupid? Like, why would I swap out Elemental Hero Avion for Spacian Aqua Dolphin? What the fuck I'm gonna do with this shit? You're not even worth the 600. I think the highest Spacian was what? I think Panther, and I think that was like 1,000. Spacian Black Panther was 1,000, I believe. Everybody else, 800, 600, 400. Bitch, is you stupid? Is you stupid? Like, and then again, everything revolved around that beef buff stick Elemental Hero Neos. So now we got this big buff Elemental Hero Neos guy, the Spacians who are weak as hell, who don't really elevate the Elemental Heroes themselves. And the fact that Elemental Hero Neos never fuse with any of the other elemental heroes was completely stupid because, and the reason why I'm saying that is because you had the elemental heroes that was introduced in the manga. Why you just didn't bring them? Like, you could have had elemental hero Neos, and you could have just had them fuse with elemental hero Neos to make elemental Neo cards. You get what I'm saying? So you can, all of those elemental heroes from the manga, you have them fused with elemental hero Neos to create more new elemental, like they still but they can still fuse with others to create even more elemental heroes. You get what I'm saying? Because the shit didn't make sense. The shit was stupid. You know? It's crazy. And then in top of that, the manga got rid of the elemental heroes and had Jaden use mass heroes, which mass heroes are pretty great. They elevated, and you can still use them with elemental heroes. The Spacians, the problem with the Spacians is that they only work with elemental hero Neos. They don't work with anyone else. That's a problem, especially in a deck that based around elemental heroes. Because why did you call elemental hero Neos if Neos can't even cooperate with the other elemental heroes? And the Spacians can't cooperate with the other elemental heroes, but then you want a synergy deck that works, that uses both elemental hero Neos, Spacians, and elemental heroes. That doesn't make the damn sense God gave. It really doesn't. And I'm not gonna sit up here and pretend like that was a good, bold strategy. It was dumb, Cotton. It was dumb, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off. Oh, it didn't, because they still been trying to fix that shit. Because it's dumb. It's dumb. Especially when you had a version of Contact Fusion that worked called the Gladiator Beast. They knew how to use Contact Fusion correctly. Why couldn't the Spacians and elemental hero Neos do the same? Like, it's such a waste. It was such a waste. It was such dumb shit. And I know this is a random rant video of me, like, you know, ranting about the elemental hero Neos and Spacian. But I was just thinking, like, damn, what the fuck are we doing here with this bullshit? You know what I mean? And I understand some people are going to probably be like, well, I like the Spacians. Okay, that's great that you like the Spacians. They're okay. But when you go back and you watch Yu-Gi-Oh GX, and then you try to use a lot of that stuff in real life, which I have, it don't work. You gotta do a whole lot of bullshit to make the Spacians work. And that's a problem. Compared to the mass heroes, which can be used with elemental heroes, destiny heroes, vision heroes, extra heroes. You get what I'm saying? Everything synergizes with all the other hero cards. But Spacians, who are offshoot of elemental heroes, do not work. And that's a problem. All right? Great. So those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.